Nostalgia Hoops, Nostalgia Sports and Culture. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on the way in. Talking WNBA again. Last night we had the Washington Mystics versus the Las Vegas Aces, undefeated versus undefeated. Two of the hottest teams coming into this game. And I want to say the Mystics were a 5 point underdog because on one of my parlays I took the Mystics +5 because I thought it would be a close game, but I thought the Aces would still pull it out. Both teams had looked impressive, but I just felt the Aces had a little bit more warriors to them. Like they remind me of a finesse type small ball Warriors team, and that first half and especially early on, they was looking like that. Like I'm watching, I'm like, man, this is like the Warriors. So and so is Steph, Plum, is Clay. Then you got your Wiggins with Gray and Hamby stretching the floor, and then Asia. I just couldn't find a comparable to the Warriors, but I'm like, yeah, this is possibly like a WNBA version of the Warriors, and man, it only problem is the WNBA isn't a 3 point league yet. It isn't a all small ball, I would say, league yet, in the sense that some of these bigs in the WNBA have mass, like Heinz Allen, Deladon. They have mass, so it's some others. Even if you don't see them as like super tall or something like that, like they can be wide and strong, and it's still much centered around the paint. So it's a little bit harder. The small ball, I think the Aces are built for where the league is going and what it's going to turn into. But right now, I, a big issue because y'all got to remember, Cloud had been the one going crazy, and these first two games and getting off the big shooter, all that, but they didn't even have her, and it's like they were down, and then Atkins, just you kept hearing Atkins, and then they just flipped the switch, and the big switch I think they flipped is, like I say, the WNBA is still a paint game, so they're attacking the paint, and Asia is having to exert a lot of energy on the defensive end because Hamby is they both a little light in the Asia is like medium big, and Hamby is like finesse big, where they can block your shot, but that's a lot, jumping up and down, time, and not trying to get the foul. It just takes a lot out of a player, and you don't have that big body and Liz down there no more. So I don't know how, where I was saying you win a championship, you have to be very good on offense and getting pushing the pace and getting turnovers to win the championship in a league that's paint centered, and you're as light as they are. I mean, they're gonna have to have the right matchup because this Washington team has a bunch of dogs. They weren't afraid to attack the paint. They were constantly going at Asia, and it's like she just wasn't able to catch a rhythm on offense. And in a lot of these first games, but the ones I really care about is when somebody isn't going to lay down, what are you going to do? And I just never felt we felt Asia's presence last night. I don't know if it's whether she was tired from the first two games, still getting in rhythm, whether it was just exerting too much energy on defense, but offensively, we have to feel. And her team is going to have to feel her presence. She can't be as laid back. It's cool when everybody else is getting off, but as the leader, as the MVP, Miss Statue built the house in South Carolina, cannot be that laid back. They almost play with like a Wiz Khalifa Snoop type. It's gonna be cool. It's just laid back, super laid back type mentality. And I want to see this team wake up because it's not that they didn't do good the first two games, but when you playing somebody that wants it just as much as you, I don't want to see you lay back in that situation because then it's like, oh, you're a front runner, and that's not what I want to think about this team. But I would be looking to add some size because I don't want Asia as my best player having to bang so hard on defense. I just think it's just too light in the pants against some team. And the standout for the Mystics for me was Hines Allen with 15, 8, and 8. And she just was a dog in that paint. And I think she softened them up in 3 steals and 2 blocks on top of that. Deladine had 19, 7, 2, 2. How many attempts did they get? So Deladine was 5 of 11 and Hines Allen was 6 of 13. I mean, this team just was constantly going in that paint. Like, but she was the first. Hines Allen was the first one that I seen that really, tenderize them, and everybody else just followed suit. I was also impressed by Machida, 18 assists in the Olympics. I mean, that just says it all. Knows how to command the offense, poised, laid back. Whereas they had them dogs just loud. The Hines Allen, Shakira Austin. I think she did a very team bring together chemistry uplifting thing when Benson got pushed over and she jumped up in Hamby's face and put got to chill with all that. So I think that's going to help bring them together long run. Cloud wasn't even out there. I think her seeing that in the rookie that just glues them together even more. And this team believes in itself. This team has a nice balance with the youth. This team just has an energy about it, and that can carry them a long way this year. I think it's the sky's the limit for the Mystics. If they're playing like this and they don't just have no quit, no give up, they're gonna play hard. They're gonna attack you. They're gonna be in your face. It's just gonna be tough to beat. Anything else stood out. Benson. I like Benson a lot. I watched Benson a lot in Maryland, and she just was coming in doing the same thing. It just looked like she was still in college. 3 or 4 from the 3 point line. 3 of 5 from the field, 12 points. She had a solid game. On the other side, I thought Jackie Young was getting off early. She looked like Chris Paul early on, and with a little bit of Kevin Durant pulling up over Machida or Benz from the free throw line. Plum was solid. I seen some good spots here and there from Hamby, but the big thing I would say, Asia has to let her presence be known. You're the best player, 4'11". 11 rebounds is solid, but 4'11 is not gonna do it. And in a game like this, I think I need a bit more shot attempts. But shout out to the Mystics, well coached, good leadership on the floor, and right now, I think it's the best team in the WNBA from what I see. I want to see them play the Sparks, but right now they looking like the ones.